repeat, try and abuse that flashless rumble.
And he's 6 now, he's gonna look.
Okay, let's see what we can get, as there it is, the Grand Starfall, and Fudge is not looking too good. First blood over to Inspired.
At the very least here, but Inspired is gonna be here. And,
now he's jump over the back of the pit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Inspired going to show up to try to contest this. Both bot lane duos also making their way towards this part of the map. Neither team did the early bot to top swap that we often see with those bottom lane duos, as Inspired takes that second grub, but now in a little bit of danger here as Shopify try to make their move. Busio here on the front line, but does not have Unbreakable Will to try to survive. B-Boy under pressure as Masu's looking for some AD carry violence. Meanwhile, more problems for Fudge up there in the top lane as Quad is locked up and shot down. Palafox getting one, but it's FlyQuest taking
All
one.
done for Quad as well, so there's going to be a lot of MR on this front line. You've got to be able to find a way to get past them, but there's so much CC on these champs that it is going to be really difficult unless you're first to the spot.
All right, first Drake of the game taken by FlyQuest. Very, very close game state. The single dragon's not really going to make or break anything. The 2-to-1 advantage on the grubs. Again, similar story. Palafox in danger as Inspired arrives, and Bwipo puts the chain CC.
He has been very good with his clear, despite the early invade from Shopify. And here we go.
Seos in some danger immediately as FlyQuest go for the engage. The Braum is a difficult target, but they got plenty of firepower, and they're already on their first kill. Now Contract focused by Bwipo as the rest of FlyQuest
Going to be a rotation on over to the Herald. Easily pick that one up. And he has the 1,000 gold individual lead, now even more than that.
There's no way they're even going to try to contest. You can see Contract is up on top side. You know, Annie's going to be pushing that top lane down, you know, trying to at least deny a little bit of farm. Just going to be an easy Drake there for FlyQuest.
Talking about dealing with the early invade, keeping up his farm, going for the counter invades, preying on people with no flashes.
Here we go. Inspired ready to make the dive happen as Bwipo goes in for the ulti, and they're going to combo Palafox down before he can do a damn thing about it. Now Quad's ready to show up for the two-man taunt. Busio's there right behind him. FlyQuest just murdered Shopify.
CC is OP, Flowers, and they've got a lot of it. FlyQuest here go for the tower dive. And instead of tracking like time CC'd for these people in their death timers.
Time not CC'd.
Yeah, exactly. Time,
0.
Time not CC'd. Probably very, very close to 0. So FlyQuest get the tower afterwards.
Of the dive just ends up being more free food for FlyQuest. And now they're summoning up the Herald here in mid lane. The turret is about to be taken out. They try to use the Palafox ulti to make an engage, but it ain't going to happen. And now Contracts is already in danger. Busio looking to keep going forward with the Unbreakable Will. Knocks Palafox up into the air as Contracts will fall in a grand entrance for Quad. Locks up 3. Palafox about to drop. B-Boy's on the run. Seos is heading straight into the dirt as FlyQuest just runs Shopify over.
Quad is getting some mega value taunts here. He is getting multiple people on every single tower dive that they go for. I was kind of hopeful, Flowers, much more every time they do, that they really just have Shopify in the stranglehold at the moment. Now are in full defense mode because they are so out-itemized at the moment, with all these members of FlyQuest having multiple item power spikes. They cannot fight something.
Maybe you boys. We got Otacon starting up, and Shopify's got to try to make their approach. They don't just want to give it away, but FlyQuest is already done as Busio looks to engage with the flash headbutt pulled over the wall. A nice chains of corruption to follow it up. B-Boy's already in danger as the Grand Starfall is about to seal his fate. Masu trying to get away from Palafox off to the side as B-Boy also barely survives. Fudge on the run as Bwipo takes out Palafox, and the fight's not done. The re-engage as FlyQuest continues looking for more kills. Quad jumps forward, but he doesn't have the range. All things considered, only 2 dead on Shopify's better than it looked at the start, but Contracts now has to fully retreat as well. FlyQuest, they'll take the Otacon, they'll take the kills, they'll take the turret, they'll take it all.
Yeah, they get that bottom lane tier 2. They are 7K.
Meanwhile, we're looking like an NFL team just running through Shopify.
Bunch of linebackers.
Up into their own towers. Quad is starting the fight on Fudge.
Okay, Fudge calling in some backup from Palafox, but again, it's 2 mages against a tanky Galio. It's not looking so great. They get him low, but they can't quite kill him off. The equalizer finally burns him down. Palafox getting the kill credit on that one, as now Masu might be in a little bit of danger as well. A nice shot from B-Boy to make it a positive trade for Shopify Rebellion. Now Palafox in a little bit of danger, but Inspired to the 1v3, trying to escape, or at least take Seos with him, but it ain't gonna happen. FlyQuest have lost 3, and Shopify Shopify wants more. Contracts jumps in as Busio barely survives with the Unbreakable Will. It's only two very tanky tanks on the side of FlyQuest left, but the guns aren't really firing anymore. Busio looking to buy a little bit of time as Seos might just fall to Bwipo, who's trying to combo him down with the orange CC. The Brittle's going to be enough with that last little burp. Bwipo goes godlike, but he's the only man still standing in FlyQuest colors. Contracts trying to chase him down and complete what'll be a delayed ace for the side of Shopify as Bwipo about to fall here. Quad gonna arrive with the teleport, but he's arriving into a spot where Bwipo's still barely alive. The shutdown over to B-Boy. It looks like the Rebels are gonna call this one. The Dragon not worth the fight at this point in time, so it's Chemtech Soul over the side of FlyQuest.
All right, the hope is there for Shopify to try and get through some of these tanks.
All right, Bwipo's leading the charge, and Seos is the target. Continues disengaging here on the Braum, though, as the rest of Shopify has to scramble. Inspired looking for an opportunity as Busio using his heal there on the Alistar, goes in for the engage, and now the bounce house is in full swing. Inspired roaring through the fight over the top, and it's over before it even begins. Shopify is aced in a matter of just 3 or 4 seconds.
What a fight from FlyQuest. The explosive engage comes through, and they give him no shot whatsoever in that one.
They stomp the end of this game here emphatically in favor of FlyQuest. Clean ace.
Right when it was looking like Shopify might still have one last chance, one more opportunity to maybe dig in and look for a comeback, FlyQuest absolutely slashes those hopes to pieces. 19-6, they're gonna slam game 1 and start this series off with a win.
Okay, it is a best of 5. We're going the...
You can actually ult them, and the Maiden does go into the ult, but the ghouls do not, so that's one of the interactions that people like. The cage also does not follow you into it, so if he throws that in the cage and he gets the ghouls on you, you ult him. The Maiden will follow, but the rest will not. But there are some specific matchups like this. I don't think this is the best of 5.
Ooh, nice little gank here from Contracts. Finds the slam into the wall on Bwipo. Now the follow-up with a cage. Bwipo forced to flash away or face certain death. Nicely played there from Shopify to knock Bwipo low on HP. He's going to need to teleport back.
They're trying to dive.
FlyQuest is making their move on the other side of the map at the same time. Seos the first target as Busio starts it off.
Clean.
First blood over to Quad. Should be able to grab this second before anybody from FlyQuest would even be able to show up. Remember, last time around, we did end up getting a pretty big fight around the Grub Pit, but it looks like in this one, FlyQuest will just let it go.
And especially when you are playing Yorick, who really wants to live in a side lane. Getting grubs is actually so nice to help you accelerate the game to be able to play.
Masu and Quad do not have flashes here, and the Skarner is ready to punish.
Okay, FlyQuest have the Dragon started, but it's only at half HP. Seo's trying to disengage now as Contracts finds a nice 2-man ulti. True shot barrage over the top, ain't gonna do enough. Contracts very low, Quad even lower. Both of them fall as Seos has to retreat. Palafox fighting off Busio, but he's forced out to the right of the fight as Inspired and B-Boy now also running into the jungle as Inspired chases him away. It's Seos and Contracts dropping on the side of Shopify in trade for only Quad on FlyQuest. 3-1, the kill score for the game, as now top lane back and forth goes the Bwipo and Fudge battle. The Maiden might just fall, and if Yorick loses the Maiden, it's actually pretty crucial setback to not have that power. Barely keeps it alive.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really long cooldown. Fudge actually probably needs the base to just keep it alive.
We should go left side. We should go left side. Ezreal no shift.
Yeah, I'm trying to fight. Look, Skarner. Skarner. I will fight Skarner to death.
Skarner no flash.
Neither of us
going Leona. We're going Leona.
Keep fighting.
Leon is dead.
Yeah, I'm fine. Can I go back to Drake? Yeah.
Yeah.
The comms are just so clean. As soon as they see the Azir coming, they're like, let's go left side, let's go left side.
That's ulti.
Yeah, you've immediately got Bwipo going in for Fudge here. He's still got him stuck in the death realm for now, but he doesn't have the damage in time. Contracts showing up, and Bwipo doesn't get the kill.
And you're down in gold to where you can't actually win the 1v1. If he gets an early Triforce, they can pressure.
All right, now the dive onto Bwipo here yet again. The Yorick cage finds him. The Mordekaiser doesn't have his ulti yet, but he doesn't need it. The shield is enough to keep Bwipo alive.
For now, the teleport comes in, round 2.
All right, True Shot Barrage even sets it up for Palafox to knock it down. Shopify have tied up the game, and they're about to knock down the first turret. They're doing a ton of damage to the thing with Yorick and the Maiden together as Busio and Masu will try to pressure B-Boy away from the tier 1 mid, but it's first turret over to Shopify.
All of the early plays, so they do force some of their own.
All right, Fudge chasing after Quad here. Catches him in the cage at the very end. Quad does not have a lot of mana to fight with. Fudge continues looking for a little bit more damage. Can the Maiden do it? Yes! And Quad even flashes at his death. Huge moves from Fudge.
Fudge has become the hero of Shopify Rebellion. How the tables have turned. And that was after the flash. They got the kill plus the flash off of Quad. Contrast has been so proactive on this Skarner, and now they have an area they can play to. Fudge cashing in on those turret plates.
I mean, that's massive from Fudge. He's getting paid off of all these plates, and Quad was looking like he didn't know how Yorick worked there, because when you get hit by the E, flashing does nothing. The ghouls are going to come for the tier 2 to try to pressure this. I think this is actually really smart. They already have a gold lead. You want to play through sides, just play to extend this. It's only the second dragon. Honestly, tempo on the map where everyone's committing. We'll see if they can get him with Talia, though.
Yeah, Whippo immediately going in after Palafox here. The Sun Disc summoned up to try to protect the Emperor, as Whippo may have gone a little bit too far. Palafox still staying alive, just dancing circles around him, but FlyQuest brought the whole damn team. The shutdown comes through, but meanwhile in the bottom lane, Fudge continuing to put in work on the split push. The tier 2 turret is already halfway down, as Contract swoops into the top side of the nice two-man pull. Whippo is down, but Contracts is tanking a lot here in the front line. Seos and Bvoy have to retreat, and it's a 1-for-1 here. Hit you in the head is probably going to hurt, as FlyQuest are still trying to defend here as their tier 1 finally succumbs to the pressure from Shopify Rebellion. Objectives, Otacon has spawned, which has triggered a special Uber Eats offer that you can check out in chat or the Twitch extension if you're getting a little hungry for something other than turret plates like this Yorick has been serving up all game long. Otacon there.
Towards the middle of the map, they actually can just turn towards this tower and get something back for themselves, but the Flower adaptive force picked up and bits of experience there for will be nice. Yeah, it's not like as powerful as the old get up 30 petals on the ground afterwards, but it's still quite nice, plus the little on-kill effect that you get.
FlyQuest are all moving towards topside. This could be a straight-up brawl.
All right, Shopify starting it off already here with a 1v1 in top lane, but Seos is about to die before anything else happens. He barely stays alive, as now Inspired has to try to escape, and Contracts misses the Skarner ulti. Fudge wants to get away from Quad, but a kill has already come through as Inspired and Masu are dead. Fudge is dropped as well. Seos only at 100 HP as FlyQuest tries to continue their retreat. Whippo is barely hanging on. Palafox will not be grabbed by the Mordekaiser Claw, and now Quad stands alone. Shopify Rebellion just out team fought FlyQuest.
Shopify come up huge, and that means they're gonna get
ocean of Shopify leads.
Yeah, because they got all the kill money, and then they also got the tier 2 on top side, and they get the back out onto the map, push tier 2 on bottom side, another bunch of gold going into the
League
shop.
of Legends, but they are not going to stick around the area, as FlyQuest have already expressed their interest in making this stop. Seo's immediate engage, follow-up from Contracts is perfect, and Masu is dead and gone before the rest of the fight can even bother starting. Contracts putting a little bit more pressure here onto Quad as Inspired looks for his angle into the fight. Whippo's ready to join up, and Contracts may have gone a little bit too far. Now Fudge teleporting in to try to back them up as Whippo goes into the death round and wants to chase after an isolated target, but he's not going to find it. A little bit more damage should be able to take him down as Palafox nearly dies, but he comes out on top as Busio and Quad are on the run, and Fudge is on the hunt. Busio tries to find his counter-engage there with a crash down Magnet Storm as Fudge dies to the turret. FlyQuest managed to outplay them.
For Shopify, look at the beginning.
Important to note, Masu did not have his flash here. It showed that he did in-game, but it is not up, so it's not like he could actually...
halfway point. Busio goes forward, looks for that shattering strike, but cannot find a target with it, as now Masu nearly dead again. True Shot Barrage isn't going to hit him to finish off the job, but Masu still got to try to escape. Contracts looking for Masu. 200 HP left on the Senna, and Fudge buries him 6 feet deep. Shopify Rebellion have already found their first target, and they want to make it a 2-for-1 special. Bvoy goes on a rampage, and FlyQuest are hurting as Shopify go after the Baron.
Wow, 3-item Ezreal hurts a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And Fudge, this was back a couple weeks ago before their last matchup. He said, I wonder, is Bubba going to shit talk me more if I play bad? But today we had nothing to lose. He already called me the worst. And Shopify now are looking like they are fully in control. 7,000 gold lead here. They are very close to tying this one up.
All right, Contracts leading the charge. Quad forced to flash away from the Impale as Busio crashes down for a Magnet Storm and Contracts drops. Quad goes on a killing spree again.
One of the really fun things that people love about watching Shopify games, they can punch up at the best teams in the LTA, see if they can finish.
Okay, immediately going in for the Weaver's Wall. Inspired wants to charge in, but he's already almost dead. Contracts only gets one with a bull. The Palafox has fallen. FlyQuest have found their first kill, and it's the enemy mid laner.
They've kept all the inhibitor towers alive. Death Gap's in there for Quad. Quad actually has a pretty big individual gold lead himself.
FlyQuest trying to see if they can stop this, but Masu and everybody else still has to make their way over. The Baron is already down to 20% HP. The Baron is already claimed before the fight even starts. Shopify Rebellion going in now, but Seo's got to be careful, flashing back over the wall, keeping himself safe as Inspired has lost 1/3 HP. The Maiden's coming around on the flank as the Weaver's Wall has disappeared. Fudge looking for a chance to get involved in the fight, but Bwippo has pulled him into the Death Realm. The Mordekaiser is feeling strong here with the 1v1 as everybody else on Shopify tries to scramble to save Fudge in the aftermath. Bwippo can't get the kill, but it costs Fudge his flash. So far for FlyQuest, but the Baroned up minions, the super low HP on the turret. Shopify Rebellion, look at the damage there on the Masu from B-Boy hitting the Mystic shot as FlyQuest will lose their first inhibitor turret here in mid lane. The Sun Disc is about to fall. Seos wanted to flash over the wall for the surprise engage there with the Zenith Blade, but does not have the range to land.
Scimitar, but that's just like a little bit of extra damage. With Cloud Soul, with the extra range, quickly, couple of autos on the tower.
Okay, B-Boy takes out the tier 3 turret here in the bottom lane. Bwippo, only a couple Mystic shots, has already done that to his health as Masu's half HP now too. Shopify Rebellion keeping their foot on the gas pedal as 2 inhibitors are now vulnerable in the FlyQuest base. 15-10 for Shopify, 6,000 gold lead. Masu very strong with a lot of range, but FlyQuest is going to have to deal with a serious problem now as Contracts goes in, but Inspired's going to stay alive. The defensive ulti from the Xinjiao, keeping him strong enough to get back to the rest of the team, but Shopify will take their opportunity to continue pushing forward. Masu looks for damage on B-Boy, but he ain't going to find it. Fudge trapped in the Shadow Realm yet again as Bwippo tries to beat him down, but he needs a little bit more damage to get it done, and Bwippo! He's right. It did not go the way that they wanted it to go, but B-Boy now under a little bit of pressure as Quad flies in, and B-Boy flies right back out. Contracts tanking up here on the front line in the middle of 4 FlyQuest players. Palafox looking for his entry point into the fight, but Inspired made his way back towards B-Boy, just barely misses out of the kill, but Palafox has been killed in the back line. Shopify Rebellion have already lost 1 carry, and the second is down to 100 HP. Contracts takes out Inspired, though, and continues to try to retreat, but he will not make it. FlyQuest get a 2-for-1.
They got B-Boy
Their
with the
base
ulti.
is in trouble. The ulti beautifully shot there to finish off the kill onto B-Boy, and FlyQuest just killed 3 of them.
The FlyQuest comeback is becoming a reality. How did they even find that long play? They chased them down the top lane. The beginning of it, we didn't actually get to see the origins, but look what they can take in the aftermath after the extra snipe. It's 2 towers straight down this top lane. And they're going to get inside the base. They're still to come into them. B-Boy again on the front lines trying to poke.
Okay, FlyQuest on the approach. Busio taking a little bit of damage here as Quad goes into the back line. Fudge is going to be zoned away. B-Boy sidestepping away from that seismic shove as Contract slams Inspired into the wall, but it's not good enough. The Xinjiao is so tanky. Inspired going to be dead now as both junglers fall. Palafox taking the kill on that one as FlyQuest are trying to scramble, and Shopify are hunting them down. Quad gets trapped inside the cage, but it's Fudge who falls again. Beautifully played.
Kills there. They still have the extra advantage to take down the extra person here with the chase, and they go back for the Baron.
Shopify continuing now to march down mid. That inhibitor is still dead, but just about now respawning. So inhibitor vulnerable in mid, vulnerable in bot. Shopify making the push for the inhib, but now FlyQuest is on the approach, ready to go. Seos trying to get away here from the Weaver's Wall. Fudge is going to get caught out by Inspired. Seos trapped inside the Death Realm with Bwippo, just trying to buy enough time. Gets stunned there at the very exit as Inspired's got to deal with the ghouls on the other side of the fight. Seos getting away. Shot barrage to take him down below half HP while Fudge and Bwippo trade up in the top lane. Inspired down to half. Now a lot of damage onto the Xinjiao as Shopify Rebellion have taken over the bot side. River and Bwippo's down to 1/3 HP up in the top side at the same time. Inspired going in. Nice double knockback with a seismic shot from FlyQuest. Matsu is popping off. FlyQuest just won the fight. They might have just won the game. The Elder Dragon's going to go their way. Contracts is still alive, but only barely. Busio keeping him away, and Masu won't let him anywhere near the pit. The Elder goes to FlyQuest.
The FlyQuest heroics continue with Elder Dragon. They're going to immediately push on the bottom side of the map. Bwipo does have teleport here for the Mordekaiser. He can join too.
It's 30 seconds or more still on these death timers for the Shopify carries. Contracts is trying to get away. The Dawning Shadow for the execution with the Elder Dragon. And Masu finds another kill. Quad may die here to the Yorick, so Fudge at least gets one back. But FlyQuest have taken what was once a 7,000 gold deficit and started. And we'll see if he can make a big play with that stasis. Palafox looking at Bwipo down here in the bottom lane now, coming in to help Fudge. But FlyQuest is barreling down the mid lane at the same time. Bwipo goes into the death realm to buy himself a little bit more time as B-Boy gets away from the Dawning Shadow. Bwipo using the Zonias to try to survive a little bit longer, but Shopify have found the kill on the top laner of FlyQuest.
Oh, they gambled a lot in this. Let's see if it pays off. Contracts now on the run over to the split pushers.
Yeah, Contracts is trying to get away, but Inspired and Busio can lock him down so easily, and Masu never even has to enter the range of Impale. A one for pressure in bottom lane continues from Palafox and Fudge. Busio looking for Palafox. Fudge is going to try to stop him, at least occupy the Rel's time. Quad loses 2/3 HP, but it ain't going to matter. Masu's unstoppable. Palafox is down. Fudge in some danger as he can't secure the kill onto Busio.
Getting the Baron here, they're going to be the ones with push on the map for the first time here. And it is going to be really hard for Shopify to hold on.
Every Senna bullet chunks Baron for 1,100 damage. As Shopify now might be in a real bad spot. Contracts only just now respawning, and he might be headed straight back to the fountain. FlyQuest, they managed to wreak enough havoc in the side lane in the meantime, and FlyQuest are feeling real good now.
That was so good from Bwipo. He just flashes in. As soon as he sees the jungler, immediately ults Contracts. You know you can win that late game 1v1. Burns him down, takes away the smite from Shopify, and FlyQuest with Elder, with
It's
Baron.
up to Palafox, he's behind him. Okay, never mind, he's not gonna go.
Yeah, I think if he goes in, he instantly dies. Masu goes auto Q, and then the Elder goes blah, and then you're dead. As FlyQuest are pushing straight into the heart of the base for Shopify Rebellion. Contract still dead for another 25 seconds. FlyQuest have the Baron, they have the Elder, they have the straight shot for the enemy Nexus. There's no way Fudge can outpush this. FlyQuest from a 7,000 gold deficit come back to hit match point after game 2.
It is so hard to close this team. Take a bow! Yeah, Skewmond in EU is definitely a really big proponent of it. We'll see here. Mundo, very fast clear, as you mentioned. Kind of frustrating to play against sometimes.
Yep.
Farms extremely
the canister
well.
also
Answer to losing, so right up to the top side. And again, remember though, the jungler is clearing.
Ooh, nice knock up. Bwipo trying to get away from this with a slice now as Seos and B-Boy continue to chase. But as soon as he sees the flash, Bwipo
laughing at you.
Yeah, if you flash into the fog of war, then you can break anything that's in the air. And
it's not like Zion Recon are coming up here. Easy pick onto the grubs. They'll just grab all three of those. Inspired can easily secure the entire objective here in the top side river, as Fudge can crash the wave into top lane, but just barely misses out on the first plate.
I will say, even though
B-Boy is going to be on a very sad buy. You know, he spent the gold on the Cull, he spent the gold on the boots, he's down in gold. See if Fudge can make something happen here, but I feel like Quad can probably walk this one out. Maybe not with Palafox, though.
Yeah, now that Palafox has shown up, it is certain doom for Quad. First blood over to Shopify Rebellion.
It is very hard because you're pretty low range, so we'll have to see how we can do it.
Zion's coming up the river here. Could ulti.
Okay, defensive ult from Busio, making it so there's no way Seos can continue engaging, as now Fudge looking to disrupt this backline a little bit. Busio with some fast feet, looking to sidestep the cleavers, but no! Busio drops, and Shopify are grabbing kill number
there.
2.
He's having a good game, and I think, again, Fudge is playing well in this series.
All right, FlyQuest, though, are in total control.
They really played the map well to just make sure it didn't actually matter.
Yeah, I mean, Shopify are in a very good spot as they go in.
Look at the burst on Contracts, though. Masu just shooting him to pieces, but Inspired's got to be careful as he tries to retreat. Palafox with a nice ulti. Shopify Rebellion 3-0 in kill.
Even better position now that they do go in. Mundo goes where he pleases. He just walks at this team, creating the space there for them to follow up. And because they got all this gold on their carries already for Shopify, as they're getting kind of gunned down in mid lane.
Yeah, Masu's getting close. He wants to scrap for this.
Calculated. Here's the counter play.
Okay, Fudge arrives. This time, that Scion ulti is going to hit, but Busio flashes over the wall to stay safe. Quad fires off the Spiraling Despair, but it's not going to land. Whippo arrives on the back end of the fight, though, and a little bit more damage might just kill Fudge. Severing Bolt doesn't hit him. FlyQuest won't get anything as Masu gets caught at the very end of the shockwave, but it will not kill him either.
And B-Boy, Masu's putting on pressure, but it doesn't matter because every time there's a fight, it's B-Boy picking up the kills. Now they got first tower, so the feats are completed as well.
Yeah, this is the first time in the series that Shopify have earned themselves the empowered boots. It's a really good start in pretty much every department here for the Rebels, but now the next dragon is spawned. FlyQuest have control over the bot side river right now. Fudge is down there closer to bottom lane, Quad being the one to answer right now on the Hui. This Hui pick not working out super great for FlyQuest so far.
Yeah, and now just a couple seconds here, Fudge will get his ult back for the Scion. They're already in position. You have to expect Shopify here just start up the dragon and go for this objective because Whippo on top side is pushing at tower with teleport. They want to at least get something here.
Okay, Dragon started up. B-Boy and Contracts putting the damage into that as Whippo uses his dominance before the teleport, so he's ready to go as soon as he arrives. Tons of damage onto Fudge. Whippo has made his way into the fight, but he's already about to die, flashing back out of the way of the Blade Caller, now re-engaging after Fudge. And finally, FlyQuest get their kill. Fudge gets shut down, but the dead body is already rampaging. He zones Busio and Masu away, but now with the Scion completely and truly out of the picture, the Dragon is still at death's door, and it's still Shopify with control of the bottom side river, and it's secured by Contract to the Mundo as FlyQuest look for a little bit more damage to get something back, and Masu's going to grab another kill, this time on a Contracts. Whippo moved down into the bottom lane in the meantime, and he's going to take the tier 1 turret there. So although Shopify may have got themselves the objective, their gold lead has nearly entirely disappeared as the cost.
And the Quad has not been able to finish his second item, and so you're looking at this Orianna Shockwave. This thing could be huge, especially if B-Boy can...
There he got it! Masu's in trouble! Contracts gets the kill! Absolutely huge for Shopify! Masu wanted to step up and use the culling. I don't know if he didn't notice the ball. I don't know if he was just disrespecting the ball, but the ball was there, and Masu gets dropped.
I think he just thought, if he one-man shockwaves me, I'm going to be able to survive it and be able to get out, but clearly disrespecting it, gets hit by the shockwave, and then Contract finished him off with just a flash E briefcase to the face.
All right, now even more trouble. Quad has to flash over the wall to survive as Seos and Fudge try to find the other carry. Meanwhile, though, the entire time, you've got Whippo putting in work on the top lane tier 2 turret, but now he's teleporting in to join the rest of the team. They do not want to allow Shopify to take the free Otacon, but Quad is once again under pressure. The Hui is about to die again. Palafox taking a kill on him. This is not Quad's game. Whippo flashing and dashing forward to try to get the kill onto B-Boy, who barely stays alive with the ulti, but finally drops there with the very end. Otacon's down to 1 HP. Contracts at least secures it, but now Whippo and Busio got to try to fight as Inspired has died. Palafox trying to escape from the Renekton, and he stays alive, but Masu has rejoined the fight. The culling's not there in time. Whippo needs a little bit more range, but he cannot find the last bit of damage for Palafox.
Oh, this series is so close, even with FlyQuest coming out ahead in a 2-0. The last game so incredibly close. Shopify fighting for so long, and this is the reason why it was like that. I mean, Shopify, now they have 3 dragons for themselves. They still are able to get the Otacon to clean up some of the extra flowers on it, but FlyQuest counterplay even while
he's got to stop and try to make his way up to join this fight. There is a teleport, but he'd much rather use the ulti to join if that's an option. Already crossing the path into mid lane. Expect Shopify to make their move here soon. The Baron is already down below half HP, and Fudge is ready to charge in. FlyQuest backs away from the objective, and the Baron is going to reset. Whippo wants to make his entry onto the side, but he's going to be burst down almost entirely before the fight even really starts. Now Contracts also in retreat. FlyQuest have more damaged health. He's going to take the Baron.
Yeah, Whippo goes in there. He does take a lot of damage, but he had this Derricks. He knew he was going to be really tanky with the ulti, with with this Derek's proc, so he's willing to draw that pressure, and at the same time, Contracts and Fudge were both put incredibly
instead, but FlyQuest are not going to fall for the trap. Inspired steps forward. Contracts and B-Boy have already started up the objective. Palafox gets hit by a Severing Bolt. The Sejuani ulti follows, but there's no follow-up to the ult. Now Whippo's ready to try to slice and dice in as Contracts escapes for now, but more damage flies through. The Nami wave over the top of the entirety of Shopify Rebellion. Inspired's going to be careful. He jumps back in. He tries to flash out, but instead he's going to be killed. Seos falls and Fudge right next to him. Whippo with a Sterix Gauge staying alive, and the pressure on Palafox is not enough. Fudge might have died, but B-Boy already got a double kill. Palafox is about to fall. Masu's trigger finger is feeling hella itchy today, and Contracts looks like a good target. FlyQuest just killed 4 of them.
It's Masu on the Senna, and now it's Masu on the Lucian. This guy's going crazy. B-Boy wants more.
B-Boy comes back in, tries to get something. He'll take quad.
The Dragon stacking.
And Masu based after that fight with 3,000 gold. He just bought the BF, so he's holding on to get the IE. He's got to be very close. He's got to be a wave or 2 away. Busio, very good on the Nami, 9-3, having a great game.
FlyQuest assembled as 5. Shopify doing the same to stop them. The Baron still available to fight for as FlyQuest continue moving forward. Now Inspired, putting a little bit of CC on the Contracts, but it's all about B-Boy. He gets caught, but not instantly killed. Masu's gonna die instead. Shopify found the carry. Whippo goes into the back to finish up the kill onto B-Boy, but where's the rest of the damage? Fudge about to drop, and Quad takes the kill. Whippo will not stop. He continues the chase and stuns up Palafox, but he doesn't have the damage just yet. Finally, Fudge's body falls over as Seos, Palafox, and Contracts scramble to stay alive. A 2-for-1 trade favoring FlyQuest.
What an engage onto B-Boy again.
Damage, but the dance back and forth between both sides. Palafox teleporting back into the mid lane now to rejoin the team. Masu dashing back away as Busio's ulti is used for the escape for FlyQuest. But once again, Whippo's in the very middle of everybody. Finds the initial engage, and Fudge takes a ton of damage as well. Both top laners very low as Seos...
Yeah, you want to have it Inspired up there towards mid so you can show that you are ready to, at the very least, have smite contention towards that Baron, and they don't give any window there for Shopify to try and use that Dragon advantage, which is now gone. All the Dragons have been evened up here with FlyQuest grabbing that one. They're going to force on this Baron anyway.
All right, FlyQuest ready to try to stop Shopify here. 10-11 in kills, very close game. As Shopify have the Baron down below half HP. Seos waiting off to the side, looking for his opportunity to jump in, and he finds the engage on Masu! The shutdown credit to Contracts as Shopify killed the most valuable target on FlyQuest. Now Inspired and Whippo are trying to salvage something on the back end of the fight. Quad's the only damage left, and he's doing enough! Whippo is tearing through Shopify Rebellion as Contracts now tries to pick up another kill into Busio. He and Fudge are still trying to frontline, but there's nothing left to frontline for. Palafox and B-Boy down means even though Shopify started the fight off with the perfect pick on Masu.
Stunned. These CC chains have just been so good for them in the backline there with his ultimate ticking, by the way, which got buffed, does so much damage, and he kind of rips them apart. So we'll get right back to live, though.
Whippo's just loving some League of Legends today. Masu, though, in some danger. Fudge immediately engaging towards the Lucian. Masu playing so aggressively, but this is the other edge on that sword. Dashes back over the wall to get away from Contracts as Shopify goes in for their re-engage. Inspired dashing over the wall himself, Whippo using the ult defensively. Whippo again looking for the carries on Shopify Rebellion. The Renekton's going to tank a ton of damage. The Sterix Gauge barely keeping him going as Contracts and Fudge now look for the re-engage, and the re-engage. FlyQuest disengage. For Palafox specifically, the Orianna has been such a factor this game, as now Whippo is ready to make his entrance here with the Dominus. The Baron's already down to 2,000 HP. It's going to be a smite fight, and Inspired shows why he's the best jungler in the LTA. Now he's going to drop in trade, but Whippo is chasing after Palafox, and B-Boy is already dead. Shopify Rebellion, they get the kill back on Masu. Now Seos trying to peel for his mid laner. Palafox is on a wild journey all the way through the jungle, and he'll continue trying to escape from Whippo. The Crocodile is very scary. He gets the reset on his dash because he goes through the Krugs, and it gives him enough distance to catch up to the Orianna. Now with Quad right behind him, it's surely another kill coming in for FlyQuest.
Oh my!
Whippo getting the damage done for their team. And over on the other side, Palafox doing a lot of work, but Masu has just been relentless. Even though he's gotten picked off a few times, he's playing so aggressive. We got to fight.
Oh, B-Boy, what was that? that? He's thrown into the pit and then immediately executed point blank. Now Contract's getting caught out for the follow-up. The close back and forth of this game just evaporates. They've got a 5v3. They're going straight to the enemy base.
Yeah, B-Boy was the one who blast-coned himself into the pit there, so just a misclick, you have to think.
That was a game-losing blunder as Shopify Rebellion try to stay alive, but Palafox is already under pressure, and Inspired's keeping the chase going. The Nami wave flies through. Nobody on Shopify is dead yet, but Whippo can fix that real quick. Seos barely escapes back into the fountain as Fudge is locked up by the Renekton. Lots of low health bars on FlyQuest, but nobody's dead quite yet. Palafox falls. Whippo's on a killing spree. FlyQuest is going to take the inhibitor. The game will go on, but it's bot lane inhib. Surely they will just take the Drake on their way out, or maybe not. They're going to wrap back around and go for the tier 3 turret over in mid lane. Whippo maintaining his presence, his pressure there in the front line. Still 40 seconds left on Palafox, but FlyQuest has injured health bars that they're gonna kill this crocodile. Masu's already almost got the Infernal Drake down and dead. Infernal Soul claimed by FlyQuest.
Really well played.
And it looks like Shopify are recognizing that there's no way to even try to approach this. Free Baron uncontested for FlyQuest.
Yep, FlyQuest now have everything they need to try to put the finishing touches on this one. We'll see if they can do it. I mean, as much as you're joking, Kobe, if Shopify can make it go longer, Masu and Whippo are full build. Whippo actually has, nearly 3,000 gold in pocket, so that is just dead gold. It's not doing anything for them right now, but they have the Soul, they have the Baron, they have an enormous gold lead, and they have just been looking straight up better in these fights. So it's going to need a bit of a miracle engage, I think, from Shopify if they were to hold on.
All right, the pressure is mounting. Up here in the top lane, the tier 3 turret already almost gonna die. Masu just shreds these things as Whippo is creating a different threat over in mid lane at the same time. Inhibitor falls topside. Whippo's got the wave, ready to do the same thing here in mid. Another massive calling. Just there's got to be 200 bullets in there as Masu gets himself back away. Shopify wanted to take their chance to try to engage, but they cannot do it. Spiraling Despair into Contracts as he has to try to flash away and escape. Whippo's in the front line once more with the Sterix Gauge, staying alive with the call of the meek. He's surviving on 1 HP for so long. B-Boy barely lives through it. Whippo finally dies, but at the cost of the base for Shopify Rebellion. FlyQuest backing away with their raid boss down. Contracts and Fudge forcing them to take their exit. The game goes.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
Maybe it is Shopify's turn for the heroic defense and their comeback in this series.
I mean, Palafox is pretty much full build. The 6th item isn't fully complete, but it's an unbroken arm guard, so you're going to get effectively the same value. But B-Boy dies instantly to Masu. He doesn't even get a chance to use the ulti. The double kill comes through and the game is over. Shopify are cut to ribbons as FlyQuest will take the win in this series. It might be the longest 3-0 in North American history, but it's still a clean sweep for FlyQuest.
Well played by FlyQuest. And yeah, the end series score